Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I have got a great collection from our friends at Card Making Magic. This is the Daisy and Hexagon collection. That's what I'm calling it. So this has got the Pretty Daisy Dance Die and Stamp set, the Hexagon Nesting die set, and then we've got two stamp collections here. This is verses for occasions and verses for birthdays. So I can't wait to show you what I did with this collection, so come play with us. So let me show you, this is the die sets, and this is the stamp and die set. So this is the Pretty Daisy die and stamp set, and we've got this beautiful hexagon wreath with the die that goes with it. And then we've got this little border and the die. All of the shapes have these wonderful dies. And then we've got our set of nested hexagons. There's 12 different shapes here, and, well, rather, one shape, 12 different dies. And some of them have this wonderful little stitching, and some of them just have a straight edge for the die. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to show you card project. So this one is a 5 by 6.5 inch card, and for the background, I used, this is Dotted Duos paper pack number 2, or rather Dotted Duos number 2 paper pack. And on one side, it's got a really small little dot, and on the other side, it's got a large dot. So for my card, for the bottom part, gosh, that's probably 1.5 inches. Along the bottom, I used the large dot, and then just covered the rest of the card with the small dot. And then I went ahead and took my little daisy stamp, and I just did a repeated image. I stamped it here and then over here using my Misty stamping platform. And I wanted to show you, I'm using, instead of black, I feel like daisies generally get stamped with blacking. Well, I wanted to do something a little softer, so I'm using rustic brown. It's alcohol proof because I am using some markers that are tri-blend markers from Spectrum Noir. And I used light pink, citrus green, and the citrus blend, which is a really nice yellow. And daisies are generally, yes, I know, white, but white daisies stamped on white cardstock looked a little bland to me, so I added some color to them. So on this one, it's got a nice little border. That's this right here. And I did that twice, stamped and cut that twice. And then I should mention I used, from Hunky Dory, this is lightweight essential cardstock, and we call it Stampin' White cardstock. It's a great big block. It takes color beautifully, so I highly recommend that. Then I took my shape here and die cut that out of the little ivory dots and stamped one of the little greetings here. This is on your special day. And let me remember this one. Yes, it came from the verses for birthdays. On your special day, right there. And then on the inside, I did a couple of the other little hexagon shapes and then stamp, here's hoping you have a year full of hearty laughter, smiles, and smiling faces and warm hugs. And then I die cut one of the little larger flowers. This one right here. So once I went ahead and colored, and I'll show you a little bit of a coloring technique on another card. Okay, we had a little pen melt function there. Everything's fine now. So what we're going to do is just squeeze this pen a little bit to get the flow going here of this clear glitter. And maybe we can zoom in a little bit on this, sorry, it's Houston today. And we're going to just paint the clear glitter over each one of these little daisies, and it's going to just give the nicest little shimmer. I'm not going to finish all of this right now, but you can take a look at it in the finished little thumbnail that we have below our video. If you're watching us on YouTube, just look in the description box below the video, and it'll take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page, and you can see everything I'm talking about. And don't forget, down below our video, we've got our products used list. So if you're just interested in one of these stamps or maybe just the glitter pin, everything I use, all the tools, is listed right there. And we also have a great money saver on this Daisy Hexagon collection. So make sure you check that out. It's right over there on the right-hand side. All right, so you can kind of see that it's getting this nice shimmer look right there. So cute. And then what I'm going to do is add a little dimension to the center of each one of these by using a little 3D crystal lacquer. This is a product that has been around for quite a while, and usually it gets painted over images to make it really have a nice glaze over it, but you can also use it to give things some dimension of these little clear dots. So I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze. Whoa, too much. Squeeze gently, apparently. We're going to just take some of that off with my little pokey tool. And if you just let it dry in this way, then you're going to get this really nice center to your daisy. And it's going to have some dimension to it, which I think is really cool. And I used it on another card so you can see what it looks like when it's dry. So there we go, a little lighter touch there by me, and it's going to be. All right, and I will finish that so you can see it on the finished card. But you get the idea. Just don't put too much pressure on it like I did before. Easy to just kind of take that off. All right, so this first card down. I'm going to pull out one of my little cleansing wipes here. Clean up my pokey tool. All right, so for our next card, I've got a little easel card for you. Staying with our little hexagon theme, just props right up like that for display. I don't know if you can see on here, are using, there we go, thank you, Houston. We're using that Crystal Lacquer on the center of these dots, and they make a little dimension. Hear the little sound on there, which is so cute. And I use that on that heart shape as well as on the border. So to make this card, you're going to start off with a blank card. This is a 6.5 by 5 inch card. And then you're going to use our die shape right here. So this is the second to the largest hexagon die. And what you're going to do is place this right over your card, but you're going to extend it off the edge of the fold just a little bit. And then when you run it through your die cutting machine, you're going to come up with this lovely folded card. Now you're going to need to score the center of the card. So you're going to open the card, and at that center point, which is about 2 1/4, you're going to take the bone folder. Actually, I've got this, there we go, 2 1/4, and you're just going to take that and go right down there, just like that. And then you're going to fold this over. All right, and now I have die cut from that same shape, the same size, this piece out of white cardstock. And then we're going to take a little bit of glue and put it just over the bottom portion of the card. So it's below the fold. Oops. And then when you glue this piece on, which I think there we go. I thought maybe I didn't have enough glue on it, but I was wrong. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. When it's flat, everything lays flat. And then when you pop it up, this part comes up. All right, so that's what that looks like. And then I used, for my background, I use Gingham No. 1 paper pack 6 by 6. It's the tiny size. It's got a really lovely yellow. Got a tiny, tiny check and then a large check. So I die cut the larger check out of the next size. Grab this. Is that the right size? Oh, here we go. The next size. It has this wonderful little stitch on it. And then I took another size, put a little foam tape on there, and used the tiny dot. Not the dot, the tiny gingham on there. Before I added that, I stamped "Congratulations," which is from the Verses for All Occasions. And this is great. It's great for wedding, anniversary, showers, and it's got all these wonderful little inside the card greetings, which I love, you know, so you have something to put on the inside of your card. So once I colored that, then I colored them the same way using the light pink marker, and then colored the center of those in with the citrus blend. And then once my little dots of Crystal Lacquer dried, added a little bow. It's really a nice little glimmer ribbon. It's a nice pink. Glued that on there, and on the inside, I took the same shape of die right here, and I only die cut just a tiny portion of it right here, of the smaller print, and I glued that at the bottom and stamped it, and then I did the little daisy border down at the bottom. But I thought that was a really sweet card. Okay, I'm gonna find my next card here for you. All right, so the next one, we're going to make a shaker card. And I've already started it. So same basis for this one. You want to take the largest shape, and you're going to leave the fold intact. So when you're putting that on your card, remember you're just doing it off the top edge just a little bit there. And then I took the next size and used a little pink paper from, this is the Sweet Pea paper pack, and I used this really sweet little pattern right there. Went ahead and stamped that in that same brown ink, and now we're going to make the card topper. All right, so for that, I did my little daisies, okay? I used these little ones to die cut my different sizes of daisies, and I used some white glitter cardstock to do that. So I die cut the shapes just like this, and then I took my pink pen and I used the darkest color, and I just went like this, just a little bit at the base of each petal. Then I took the lightest shade. If you're not familiar with these pens, light, medium, and, excuse me, dark, medium, and then light. And the lightest one, I just blended out that dark color. And I just think it's really fun to color on the white glitter. It gives you that glittery look with just using the one product. All right, and then I went ahead and colored the center in using the citrus yellow color. But then I also die cut this little piece right here, has all the little sizes for all the little centers. I die cut that piece, and then I put a little bit of foam tape on it and placed it right there. For the leaf shapes, I die cut those out of the white glitter, and I colored those in using the citrus green pen. Ooh, blurry. All right, so now what we're going to do is we have to line the inside of our little wreath here. We have to do that with a little bit of acetate. Now, we sell acetate by the sheet at Paper Wishes, and just check for that down below in the products used. So we're going to go ahead and glue this on the inside to make a little window. This is going to keep all of our shaker material in. I have a little tip for you. When you're die cutting acetate, I find it's best to die cut it along with a piece of scrap cardstock, because then everything just die cuts much easier and smoother. Sometimes when you die cut acetate without any material with it, it sort of doesn't always go to plan. Sometimes it doesn't cut cleanly. All right, so now I'm going to refer back to our large roll of foam tape here. Let's see, here's our large roll of foam tape. And what I'm going to do is take the end of this, and then what I like to do is just cut off a length and then take my little scissors and cut this into quarters, just like this. Okay, and then of course I cut longer strips, and then I'm putting that right here inside my card. And I like to do double layers of foam tape because the shaker material sometimes gets caught and doesn't move as easily when you just do one layer. So doing those double layers is really helpful. There's nothing more irritating when making a shaker card and you get everything done and everything is laid on there, and then you pour your shaker material in and then nothing happens. It just sits there. You can see I've got some of my foam tape pieces are cut quite long. Trim those. All right. I think shaker cards are just so fun to give people of any age. We gave one to my husband's grandmother. She was 100 years old, and she really enjoyed, I think, just the interactiveness of it, just to be able to shake it, and it made a fun sound, and I'll never forget how much she enjoyed that card. All right, so now we've got everything in place. I had to make a little patch there. All right, so before we set this down, we've got our shaker material. And here I've got, this is a new product. This is little crystal bits. And this one's called Strawberry. And they're just like little tiny rhinestones. And I loved the color. And these are little on the thicker side. So that's why it's good that we have the 2 layers. So I'm gonna put a little bit there. And then we've got our canary yellow sparklets, which are actually very thin. They're like little candy shapes, which are fun. Oh, this is taped. All right, and I'm just going to take a little pinch, put that right there, maybe 2 pinches. And then we're just going to spread that out a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and put this down right over the top. And then you're just going to make sure all that foam tape needs to connect so that the material doesn't slip out under it. And you've got that cute little shaker for a birthday, and then when you open this up, we've got one of the little flowers there and the leaves. It's your birthday with that cute little sentiment. So you guys, we've got the ability to make all these fun cards using this collection. We've got a great money saver. Check that out, it's on the right-hand side. And if you're interested in just 1 or 2 of the items, look down below and you'll find that in the products used. And thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.